Hi guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, what's up? My name is Tatianna Anesa. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and join the fam. Also, follow me on my Instagram at Tatianna.Anesa and on TikTok at Tatianna Anesa. My socials are always listed down below in the description. Now, let's get into today's video because I am extremely excited for today's video. I have honestly been looking forward to this video for a hot minute, especially when I found out that the sale was coming up pretty soon. I was like, oh my God, I need to film a video on my recommendations. I am just extremely excited, you guys. So I know this video is probably gonna be really long, so make sure you grab a snack, grab something to drink, and let's go ahead and get into my recommendations for the Sephora VIB sale. All right, so I just want to kind of start off this video by saying that all of the products in today's video is my own opinions. I only speak for myself. I don't speak for Sephora. So all of these products are my personal favorites that you can purchase at Sephora. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with a moisturizer that I want to talk about today, and that is the Charlotte Tilbury's Magic Cream. So I've been using this product for about a month now, and I definitely can say I can see a difference with my makeup wear time. It's not a primer, but it does moisturize, and I feel like it kind of helps to keep your skin moisturized without having all those excess oils peeking through. This time of year, my skin is extremely dry. I have no idea why my skin changes with the seasons, but it definitely does. I have less oils around this time of year, and I need more hydration. This literally gives you an instant hydration. If you're one of those people that need something immediately to help soak into the skin, but also helps as also helps your makeup wear time, then I definitely recommend this one. And with you getting a percentage off during the sale, this is a really great item to pick up, especially because the price point on this is pretty expensive. Next up, we have this product right here. This is for the brows. I know a lot of people prefer pencils when it comes to brows. I used to be that way, but ever since I came into this particular product, this is the Benefit Pomade Brow Pomade. I have literally not used anything else. I love it. If you're one of those people that have been using the Anastasia Dip Brow, when I tried this, I was like, hold on. The Dip Brow, I got nothing on this product. When I use the Dip Brow, the formula kind of flakes on me a little bit, and it's a lot more drying. With this, it is not dry at all. It is waterproof. It's creamy. It just glides on. It's just so seamless. I have it all in my brows today. This is the product that truly makes my brows. Now let's go ahead and move into primers, you guys, because your girl have a lot of primers that I just want to share with you guys. I did pull different kinds of primers, by the way. So there's something for everyone here. If you have dry skin, you have oily skin, combo skin, I pulled primers that I think are really great for literally all skin types. And the first one being this one right here from Huda Beauty. This is the Water Jelly Primer. Now, I feel like this primer is so underrated. I have no idea why people don't talk about this because I love this primer. It's literally a primer and a moisturizer in one. If you're one of those people that love skincare benefits in your makeup like I do, then you're really gonna love this primer. It just feels like water on the skin. It sinks into the skin, but it also does help your makeup to last longer. Every time I use this primer, I definitely see a difference in the wear time of my makeup. And I'm always like, I feel like there's some magic in this primer. I don't know what it is. I really feel like people should talk about it more because it's a primer that actually works, and it's such an amazing hydrating primer, and people with oily skin can definitely still use this. I have gone through this quite a bit. It's really good. So the next primer is one that you guys are probably not surprised by. This is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This is a cult favorite. If you've never tried it, I think the sale is a great time to pick this up. I'm wearing both of these primers today, by the way, you guys. I like to mix primers. I like to think of it as like extra insurance for my makeup. So your girl loves mixing and matching her primers because I want my makeup to last a really long time. And today I did go full glam, so your girl had to put as much, precaution into her makeup as possible. But this primer is really good. It also lasts a very long time. I feel like if you are one of those people that love gripping primers, you like that primer aspect that kind of grips your foundation, grips all the products you put onto your face. I think this is a really great primer to choose from. Another primer I want to talk about is from One Size, you guys. You guys, if there's one thing about Patrick Starr, it's that I trust him with my base base makeup, okay? I definitely trust him with my base because he has some bangers. There's a lot of other products from One Size I definitely want to pick up for the sale. Now, this primer is very different from the other two. This one has a more blurring effect to it. If you like to kind of have like that blur baby skin, something for your foundation to really like glide on and look seamless and kind of just look like second skin, but it's your skin, if that makes sense, then this is a great primer for you. I really love this primer. I think it's amazing. It also is great for combo skin, especially. It doesn't have like a mattifying effect, but the blurring effect really does help to soak in those oils. And also Patrick Star always talks about how he has oily skin. So you gotta know that this is gonna work for oily skin people, especially because that's like one thing he always states is that he has oily skin. So the last primer I want to recommend to you guys is from Fenty Beauty. Now, Rihanna has a ton of different primers you guys could choose from. She has a lot. She has the Silk Primer, the Soft Matte Primer, and the True Matte Primer. And I think a hydrating one. I think the Soft Silk is maybe the hydrating one. Not too sure on that. But this one right here is the True Matte Primer. Now, I have tried the Soft Matte, and now I'm using the True Matte. I prefer True Matte more because I feel like if you're gonna go soft matte, you might as well go full matte, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't feel like this primer is like extremely like drying or extremely matte, but I really like this primer, especially if you have oily skin. I have been using this a lot lately. It also does have a fragrance kind of scent to it, so if you're really sensitive to fragrances, maybe try out the other primers I recommended. But if you have oily skin and you need something that is completely mattifying, then I definitely recommend the ones from Fenty, or just trying out any from Fenty, you know, to see what you like. If you don't want anything too matte, which I don't think this is really matte, look into the soft matte one. You might really like that one. Let's go ahead and talk foundation because this is exciting. Okay, so the first foundation is the one I'm wearing today on my face, you guys. This one is from Huda Beauty. This is the Faux Filter Foundation. I know a lot of people are pretty skeptical when it comes to the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation because a lot of people say it's really heavy or it's cakey or things like that. But you guys, I'm wearing it on my face today and it is beautiful. It is so beautiful. You only need about a pump and a half with this. Now, I'm still rocking with the one that has the fragrance in it. She did reformulate it to not have any fragrance or anything like that. And I'm still rocking with the one with the fragrance because I really like it. I feel like I'm used to the fragrance, so it doesn't really bother me. But I am in the shade 500G Mocha. So if you guys are wondering about if we're like foundation twins, that's what I am. I highly recommend this foundation if you want that full beat face like I got right now, then I definitely recommend this foundation. Now, if you are not into complete full coverage, I definitely recommend her stick foundation. I literally had it sitting up here and I have no idea where it went. I've been wearing that literally like every day and I'm like, I don't even know where I put it. But I highly recommend the stick foundation. If you don't want to go too full coverage, then the stick foundation is more of a natural finish, but you can definitely build it up from medium to full coverage, and it applies beautifully. I know a lot of stick foundations tend to not blend out very well, but I love her stick foundation because it is super creamy. It blends with a brush and with a sponge. So if you know it blends with both of those, then it has to be good, okay? So the next foundation is more of a little bit pricey foundation. This one is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. You guys, this one is about $45, but since we have the sale coming up, y'all know it's gonna bring that price down, okay? It's gonna bring it down. So I had to recommend this foundation. So I am in the shade 14 Neutral. This is the foundation I definitely recommend if you are gonna pick it up. Definitely blend it. If you're gonna like try it in the store, please, when you put it on, it's gonna look like it is a hot mess and it's not your color. And this foundation definitely does oxidize. But when you blend it in, it's gonna kind of like adapt to your skin and it's gonna just like melt into the skin. So I highly recommend that you blend it into your skin and not just like put it on and say like, oh, it's not gonna work for me. You know what I mean? Highly recommend this. I definitely also recommend going towards the neutral sides because her warms can lean a little bit more orangey warm. So just try out the neutral, like the neutral number first and then go to cool or warm. just my little recommendation from past experience with this foundation. But 14 Neutral is the one I have settled on, and it's the one that looks really great with my skin tone. All right, so the last foundation is more of a lightweight foundation. Y'all know we have to have options. If you guys have been rocking with my channel for a while, y'all know a girl loves her options. You have to have options. I like to filter through my products. I like to experience different things. I want a different finish one day, the next day I may want the same finish. I just like to have options, or at least I like to know that I have the option, you know, that it's there. So this next foundation is pretty lightweight. It is the Rare Beauty foundation. Now I love this foundation for every day. It is a really, really beautiful finish. I love the coverage of it. It is a really, really great foundation. Now this is one of those foundations where the shade range is a little bit off, so it's gonna take quite a little minute to like find your perfect shade. The shade that I have settled on with this one is 460W. I remember I bought this first 460W the first time and I didn't like it, brought it back, got a different shade, and it just wasn't right, and I was like, okay, well 460W is just better. Now with this foundation, less is definitely more, so that's something just to keep in mind. I have one concealer I want to recommend to you guys, and it's the concealer I'm wearing today. I love this concealer so much, and this is from One Size. So this is the One Size Butter Silk Concealer. I am in the shade Dark One Neutral. So here we go again with like the neutrals. I like more neutral concealers because when it comes to putting the setting powder under my eyes, the setting powder is going to kind of adjust the color of the concealer. Whether I like it or not, it will. So I like to go more neutral rather than more yellow, because I don't like to have yellow under eyes. I need something more like neutral, like blank, if that makes sense. No color to it, just really neutral. So I really, really love this one. It is so creamy. It just blends. It's a very buildable concealer. Very, very buildable. I love it. And the shade right here looks a lot light, but you guys see my under eyes and all the places I've highlighted. It's like the perfect highlight shade. And I absolutely love this concealer. And it's about $25. It's a pretty inexpensive concealer at Sephora. So, you know, with that sale, it's going to be even cheaper. So I love this concealer. This is the only one I have to recommend to you guys today. But I truly, truly love this concealer, of course. So let's go ahead and talk powders. I did pull a few because this is a category that I don't play behind. I don't play behind my powders, y'all, because a setting powder low-key makes or breaks your makeup look. It just brings everything together. It just, well, besides blush, okay? But setting powder is another product you just have to have that makes everything look smooth. I'm going to talk about loose powders, and then we're going to move into pressed powder. So the first loose powder I want to talk about is from One Size. This is the setting powder that I'm wearing today under my eyes. I don't know what it is about this setting powder, but it is so beautiful on the skin. I love it. Every time I use it, my under eyes just look extremely smooth. I love pairing this powder with the concealer because I think the combo is just beautiful. Don't be a little intimidated by the translucent shade. If you're my skin tone or deeper, it definitely will work for your skin tone. There is a more like deeper shade, and you definitely could use that to like clean up the contour, but I definitely do recommend this setting powder. Now another setting powder that is definitely a favorite amongst a lot of people is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake setting powder. Now this is another setting powder that I like to use just about every day. Literally just I'm like rotating between these two setting powders, honestly. This one I like to use on a more full coverage kind of day, as well as like the One Size. Like I'll use both. When I think the Huda Beauty powder, I think like really full glam. Like, I mean, you could use it every day. I just feel like this is one of those powders that truly will like literally smooth out your skin, literally make everything flawless. Like this is just one of those setting powders that will do that. So I definitely recommend this one, you guys. I love these two setting powders. The fact that there's so many setting powders you can get at Sephora, but these are like my top two, especially why I wanted to include them in today's video. Now, moving on to pressed powders. There are two I really, really love, but this is the Kosas Cloud Set Powder. I use the shade Silky to set all over my face. This is a baked formula. It's made in Italy. Both powders I'm sharing with you guys are made in Italy, and you guys know when you see a powder that's made in Italy, it's gonna be good. I don't know what it is about like their baked formula, but their formulas are truly beautiful, and this is definitely no different. I love this. It's really smooth. If you're one of those people that love powders that have a little bit of tint to them, so it's not completely like just a white powder, I definitely recommend these. These are really, really good. Now, another powder I recommend to you guys is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Powder. So I use the shade 4, and literally every person that I see that uses powder has hit pan on it. I'm just about to hit pan. I don't know if it's because the powder is really small or what, but this powder is extremely expensive. I believe it's like $45 for just this pressed powder, and I don't think you get nearly as much as you would get in a loose powder compact. So I just want to recommend this to you guys because it is a really great powder. A lot of people use it. It's really good. I think it gives the skin a really beautiful, beautiful finish. And with this sale, the price will be a lot lower than $45. So I just gotta put that out there. So now we're about to move into my absolute favorite category, which is blush. Now y'all know your girl about to come in clutch with these blushes, okay? Your girl got a lot of blushes she about to share with y'all. So let's get down to business. So starting off, I think a great investment and a great choice for blush is the Pat McGrath blushes, you guys. The Pat McGrath blushes are amazing. I got these full price when they first came out because I was super excited. So the first shade I have is called Electric Bloom. This one is really, really bright. I think this is a really gorgeous springtime kind of blush, but I did want to show it to you guys in today's video. And then also I have this one right here, which is Love Struck, which is more of like a berry toned kind of blush. This one you could definitely, like today I could have used this blush, but I didn't. I used a different blush I'm going to talk about with you guys. But this is a really pretty one as well. And then my favorite everyday blush from the Pat McGrath line is Paradise Venus. Paradise Venus is my favorite everyday blush from Pat McGrath. If you're one of those people looking for a everyday kind of blush, I highly recommend Paradise Venus from Pat McGrath. But this blush formula is so beautiful. It is so beautiful on the skin. It is so pigmented. I highly recommend these. These are really great powder blushes, and you can't go wrong with Pat McGrath. Like, she has some bangers in her line. I definitely recommend her blushes because they are really good. I got 3 at full price, so y'all know they gotta be good. The next blush I want to talk about are these 2 powder blushes. These are the new Huda Beauty Glowish blushes. Now these are, I believe, $21. So you guys know with the sale, it's going to be a lot cheaper than $21. So I definitely think these are an extremely expensive pickup. They are a lot smaller than I personally thought they were going to be, but I love them. So I have the shades 3 and 4. So 3 is Berry Juicy. Really, really gorgeous. I do have a full review on these blushes. And the other shade I picked up is Charming Cherry. Now, both of these blushes, you guys, are extremely long lasting. Now, to say they are a powder blush, they last a very long time. I am wearing shade Berry Juicy at like the high points of my face today. I really, really love these. We have a couple more blushes I want to talk to you guys about. Now, more so cream blushes. So this one right here is from Tower 28. I have another one that I have no idea where it is because my makeup is all over the place. This one is Beach Out. No, that's not what it's called. It's called After Hours. Girl, what am I reading? I really love these Tower 28 blushes. I think they're amazing cream blushes. I believe they're only $20, but they're really, really great. I do wish there were more shades in the line. I do own 2 of the shades, but I just wish there were a couple more shades in the line to choose from. But they are really, really gorgeous. I am never disappointed when I wear this blush. It is so beautiful, and I love the pigmentation on those particular blushes. Let's talk about these blushes right here from Makeup by Mario. So if you are a stick blush kind of person, I definitely recommend these. I have 2 shades. I have Plumberry and Raspberry. So Plumberry is more of like a deep kind of blush. I bought this blush specifically for the fall time. I love these blushes. They're really, really great. They blend extremely well. And I'm hoping to pick up another one pretty soon, maybe for the sale. And the other shade is one that I see a lot of people using. It's the Raspberry shade, which is pretty bright. It's a bright blush. Like, look at how bright that blush is. Extremely bright. I haven't been using it much recently because it is super bright for the fall time for me, but for spring and summer, super cool. So this one right here is more of a deeper kind of blush that I love for this time of year. This one right here is Plumberry. So those are really gorgeous. I love them. They kind of give you like a natural finish, but the pigmentation is definitely there. So I would tread lightly with those. I'd probably go in with like a brush of some sort, but the pigmentation is there, as you guys can see. So I really love them. Lastly, for blush, you guys, I have to talk about this right here. This is the Patrick Ta Major Headlines Blush Palette. Now, this has been going in and out of stock for a very long time. I don't know if it's going to be in stock for the Sephora Vib sale, but I just want to bring this to you guys' attention to like definitely check it out. I highly recommend it. Honestly, you guys, I'm wearing She's a Doll today, like on the cheeks and stuff, like mainly for my blush today. I'm wearing She's a Doll, which is this bright pink shade. Who would have thought I'd reach for that bright pink shade? Like, who would have thought? But I do, and I love it. During the sale, if this does not come back in stock, definitely check on the single blushes, you guys, because the blush duos, like the single blush duos, are still really good. It's the same formula. I really love those. And if you can't get your hands on these, try out any of his blushes though. Check out the single blushes because hopefully those are in stock, even though those are constantly out of stock as well. But I'm hoping that they will definitely restock some of his blushes. I hope, if not early on in the sale, maybe later on in the sale, but constantly keep checking back. I will be updating you guys on my community tab page, you know, whenever I see that they go back in stock. So let's go ahead and move on to bronzer, because I love bronzer, you guys. Bronzer is literally one of my favorite things. Let's go ahead and start off with powder bronzer. So I did pull two powder bronzers that I really love. The first one being from Makeup by Mario. His powder bronzers are really good. They look so natural on the skin. Super pigmented. Not gonna lie, they are extremely pigmented. I love them. This one is the shade Deep. Mine is so dirty. Like, the only thing I don't like about honestly, his packaging is that it's white and it gets super dirty. But I definitely recommend the bronzers. These retail for $28, so it's a pretty good price point. I think it's definitely worth the money because it will last you quite a while. Another bronzer is this one right here from Huda Beauty's Glowish. Now, if you guys have tried the bronzer, definitely recommend getting the Glowish blushes. If you've tried the Glowish blushes but not the bronzer, you're gonna love these. I love using this bronzer to kind of like set my cream bronzers and cream contours. It's super beautiful. This is one of those everyday kind of bronzers. Like the Makeup by Mario, though I use it just about every single day, I do find that it gives you more coverage and it still looks natural on the skin, but it's not really an everyday kind of bronzer like this one. This one is a little bit more like sculpting. It's kind of like a bronzer contour kind of shade, if I'm being honest. There's not that much red in this one, like the you can't even really see it that well, but it's a very buildable formula and you definitely could build it up. But I just think this one is a lot more wearable. Let's go ahead and talk cream bronzers because I do have three I want to share with you guys. The first one is from Danessa Myricks. So this one is her cream bronzer. I'm in the shade Deep. Now this is a cream bronzer that is extremely pigmented, but if you love Danessa Myricks, you're going to love this. I like to have my options, you guys. This one is extremely pigmented. Really love it. Like, oh my god, I just like swirled my finger in it and that was just way too much. Like, oh my god, look at that. Like, that is extremely pigmented. Another one is one you guys always see on my channel. It's the Anastasia cream bronzer. I have made quite the dent in mine because I use it so much. This is my everyday bronzer and I really love it. I have not used a cream bronzer so much, but this is the Anastasia one that's below. Really love these. I need another makeup wipe. And then lastly, we have one that's more really subtle, everyday. If you like that kind of cream bronzer kind of formula that's more subtle, like really subtle, you need something that looks just like your skin but just gives you a little bit of a contour, a little bit of a bronze / contour, then I definitely recommend the Say bronzer. So this one is really good. I tried this more recently. Now this formula is a lot more dry, but not in a bad way. It's not a dry formula in a bad way, but you guys see how much more subtle this cream bronzer is. Y'all, I love my cream bronzers. I have been really obsessed with these, but you have options. So if you want something that's really pigmented that you have to kind of like work with, Danessa Myricks is a good one, and then the ABH one has a little bit more coverage, but you still can like I'm wearing the ABH one right now in the shade Chestnut, and it just literally like I didn't even like set it with a powder or anything. I kept it on its own. So I feel like it kind of like sets itself. So that's the bronzer I'm wearing today. Since we're done talking about blush and bronzer, I want to share this brush with you guys because this is the only brush I have in my recommendations today. This is the Fenty Beauty 125 face brush. If you guys are in the market for a really good brush that helps to blend out any cream products like cream blush or cream bronzer, I definitely recommend the Fenty 125 brush. It is literally my favorite brush for cream products, cream contour. I own 2 of these. I might pick up another one because I just love this brush. It's just one of my favorite brushes, you know, and it definitely works. It's almost like a kabuki brush, but it's more like smaller and not as extremely dense. It gives you more like room to work with the product. I love that brush. So I just wanted to mention that because I know I used to struggle for a really long time finding that perfect brush that'll help me blend out my cream products, and I found it and I wanted to share it with you guys. So all right, let's go ahead and talk about setting sprays because I did pull 2 that I definitely recommend to you guys. Now this first one, I don't know if it's going to be in stock. I think it is in stock online, but hopefully in your Sephora they have it. But it's the One Size Until Dawn Mattifying Setting Spray. So I love this. This is definitely TikTok viral at this point. That's why it's always out of stock. But I think it's a really great setting spray. It kind of has like that aerosol kind of spray to it, but it is really great to help your makeup last. If you're gonna be in those conditions where it's kind of like humid and you're sweating a lot, I definitely recommend that setting spray. Also, I also recommend the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Setting Spray. Now, this is just a setting spray that truly works. I love it. As you guys can see, I have really been going through this setting spray. Like, I have literally just been filtering through these, like my MAC Fix Plus, my Charlotte Tilbury, and my One Size. I just go through those 3 because it really works. I definitely see a difference in my makeup. I definitely see the longevity that this setting spray gives me. But I do know that Charlotte Tilbury has like a holiday set of 2 minis for $29, whereas 1 mini is $21, right? 21 or 25. Yeah, it's still like 1 mini is like 20 something dollars. I recommend getting the 2 minis for $29 or just picking up the full size setting spray. Really up to you if you prefer minis over full size, but I just wanted to put that out there for you guys. So let's go ahead and talk about eyeshadow palettes and then we'll move on to lips. So the first eyeshadow palettes I want to talk about are, oh, I do have a highlighter palette I want to talk about. Ooh. Okay, we'll go to the highlighter palette in a second, but let's just talk about eyeshadow palettes. I'm super excited. So these right here are from Huda Beauty. These are the Wild Obsessions palettes. I have a third one. I have no idea where it is, you guys. Like, I'm losing all of my makeup and I don't like it. Like, I feel so discombobulated. All my makeup is just everywhere and it's just like, oh my gosh, what is happening? But this right here is the Chameleon palette. This one's my favorite one. Perfect for the fall and like maybe going into the springtime. It's a really, really beautiful, beautiful, beautiful eyeshadow palette. The formula in this is really good as well. The shades in here are beautiful. I don't know what it is, but I know sometimes her Obsessions palettes can be a hit or a miss, and this time they were definitely a hit. I love them. Another one that is just very different, I think it will definitely add something to a lot of people's collection, is the Wild Jaguar Obsessions palette. This one is a cool tone palette. I know a lot of people don't really talk about cool tones, but I think this palette is so beautiful. I need to set this to the side because I want to do a look with this palette tomorrow. But this palette is just really, really gorgeous. I love it. There's some really amazing, amazing shades in here and some really, really cool formulas. They're really, really gorgeous. I love them. They're stunning. Like, this formula on these Wild Obsessions palettes are beautiful. Highly, highly recommend. There's a third one that's more greeny, bluey greeny. Recommend that one as well. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about, well, since we're on Huda Beauty, let's go ahead and talk about the other Huda Beauty palette I pulled, and it's her new nude palette. Oh my god. So this was a palette that I had wanted for years. I wanted this palette for years, but this was around the time where I just could not justify paying 60 something dollars for an eyeshadow palette. But I got this palette last year and I think was so worth the money. I love this palette. This is the palette that I'm wearing on my eyes today. If you guys are curious on what I'm wearing on my eyes, it's this palette right here. I just love my mauvey, purpley, pinky kind of tones. This is my kind of vibe. I love it. It's so beautiful. So like oh, it's so pretty. It's just so beautiful. Like, it's such a beautiful palette. And the formula on this palette, and like this, if you like pinky, nude, mauve colors, you're gonna love this palette. This has been out for quite a while, but I still think it's such a beautiful, beautiful palette. A lot of brands have tried to dupe this palette exactly, but nothing comes close to the OG original. Okay, I just feel like this palette is just so beautiful. There's some really cool textures in here. One thing about Huda Beauty's makeup formula, like across the board, not just eyeshadows, but a lot of different things, is that she is always giving us new technologies when it comes to makeup. I love her brand. I think that's what it is. We always see something different from her, and I just love it. Like, it's not the same thing over and over again, and that's one thing I really admire about her brand. I love her brand. That's why it's one of my favorites. It's just really great, especially because of that aspect. Another palette that I pulled from Huda, which is the last one I pulled from her, the Mercury Retrograde palette. Now, I know this is like a lot of people's favorite palette, which I'm really shocked by. Like, I love this palette, but I don't think this is my exact favorite palette from her, but I love this palette and it's a really great one. But I do recommend it because of the really cool formulas in here. I think this is a great companion palette. I'm like trying to hold it the right way because like the lighting. But I think this is a really great companion palette. If you love like those really pretty like springy kind of colors, those blues, those really cool purples, those fun like mix of colors, this is a really good palette to have as well. I have two palettes I want to talk to you guys about from Natasha Denona, you guys. Yes. So the first one being the Retro palette. So I did tell you guys when I first reviewed this palette that I think a great time, if you're not in like a rush for it, a good time to pick it up is during the Sephora sale. Now that the sale is here, it's time to pick up this palette if you've been waiting for it. I love this palette. I love this palette. This is kind of along the lines of the Huda Beauty New Nude palette. I just love my mauve tones, kind of purpley tones. They're really stunning. These are just my kind of vibes. I really vibe with these pink shades. I love pinks. They're so pretty. Like, this look is just, I'm obsessed with it, but highly recommend this. This is a $65 palette, so of course I'm definitely going to recommend it. These Natasha palettes that I'm showing you guys were my first time trying out her formula, and I definitely think they are extremely worth the money, and I really love them, and I have been enjoying them so much. The other one is the Love palette. Now I believe this one is on sale right now for $32. This with the Retro palette is really beautiful. They like are great companion palettes, and they just work so well together. I just really love them. Oh, I'm obsessed. Like, any Natasha Denona palette I highly recommend. I'm probably gonna pick up another palette, maybe two more palettes from her during the sale. Another palette I want to talk about that I really think is so gonna be like such a good palette to like pick up during the sale is this Norvina Volume 5 palette, you guys. If you love purples, you guys, like, this is like a purple lover's dream. This is still one of my favorite purple palettes. I really love it. I adore this palette so much. Like, these shades in here are just really beautiful. I have a full review on this. I think this is definitely my favorite palette from Norvina. I really love it. So pretty. And then I have one more eyeshadow palette for you guys that is a very neutral palette, but I think it's such a great necessity neutral palette, and that is the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette. Now this is a $50 palette and it is so basic. Trust me, it's basic. I know it's basic, but this is a palette that is such a necessity. It has all of the shades you could need. I think if you're a makeup artist, this is a really great palette to have in your kit. There's just literally everything you need in here. This is such a great palette for every day. A palette where you don't have to really think about what it is that you need to do, you know what I mean? I really love this palette. It's so neutral, but I don't have anything like this in my collection. Plus it's all matte, so you have literally all of the shades you could literally need. Like, you have your transition shades, you're deepening up the crease shades, like, you have everything in here. So I just wanted to recommend this palette for you guys. If you like to keep things really simple and neutral, just like a bronzer in the crease, definitely could get that effect plus more if you wanted to like turn it into a nighttime kind of look with this particular palette. Let's go ahead and talk lips. I know this video is getting quite long, but I have two lips products to really recommend to you guys because I scoured through all my lip products, but my two most favorites are these and I'm about to share with you guys. So the first lip products I want to share with you guys are these from Huda Beauty. These are her cream lipsticks. So I'm wearing it today. I'm wearing the shade Moneymaker right now. I love these lipsticks, okay? Love them. It is so pretty, so creamy. They glide. The only problem with these lipsticks is that they definitely do break very easily because they are just that creamy. I love these lipsticks because it kind of looks like a gloss in a way. It's not like a matte, it's just literally like a cream shine kind of lipstick. It's so nourishing, and it definitely does feel really hydrating on the lips, and it doesn't settle into those fine lines. It literally looks like a gloss, but it is a lipstick. So I have 4. There's some other shades, like Boss Chick is really gorgeous. Boss Chick is like a really pretty neutral kind of shade. Well, we have Moneymaker, which is on my lips. We have this one called Amore. This one is the more like brownie kind of shade. I just love these shades. I might pick up a couple more of these lipsticks because these are definitely my favorite lipsticks in my collection. I really, really love them. And then let's talk about gloss. Y'all probably already saw this coming. Y'all already know what it is. The Fenty glosses are definitely a pickup. If you already own some, you know, you already know how good these are. But if you also have been eyeing like her new heat glosses or like just different things, or her new like holiday kit, definitely recommend just picking up more Fenty glosses. Like, complete your Fenty collection. My favorite shade has like always been, like, no matter how many Fenty glosses I buy, my favorite shade is always Hot Chocolate. I don't know what it is about the shade, but it's just so beautiful. Like, I know what it is about the shade. It's because it's a brown, but I love this shade. It's so beautiful. Hot Chocolate has just been one of my favorites. I'm almost out of it, so I'm probably gonna pick up another one of this shade, maybe. Yes, I definitely am. I'm definitely gonna pick up another shade. I definitely recommend those 2 lip products to you guys. I think that is everything that I wanted to recommend to you guys for the Sephora VIB sale. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. What are you picking up? I wanna know your wish list down below. And yeah, I had so much fun filming this video. I know it's super long, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.